The moment you twist the throttle on the 2026 Kawasaki Ninja H2, everything changes. Not gradually, not politely. The bike doesn't build speed like a normal superbike. It attacks the horizon. And that feeling starts with one thing: the supercharger. Unlike traditional leader bikes that rely purely on displacement and high RPM, Kawasaki engineered the Ninja H2 around a purpose-built centrifugal supercharger developed entirely in-house by Kawasaki Heavy Industries. That means aerospace engineers, turbine specialists, and high-speed engineering teams all contributed to this machine. And you can feel it, because the power delivery is completely different from naturally aspirated bikes. At low RPM, the H2 feels controlled, smooth, refined. But once the revs climb, the boost hits. Suddenly, the bike lunges forward with an aggressive surge that feels more like a fighter jet than a motorcycle. There's no delay, no hesitation, just violent acceleration. And the craziest part? The engine still feels unbelievably smooth. The 998cc inline-4 is tuned to handle insane pressure while remaining stable under extreme load. Every internal component is engineered for durability at ridiculous speeds. The crankshaft, the pistons, the cooling system. Everything is built to survive power levels most motorcycles never even approach. And that's why the Ninja H2 became legendary. Not because it's simply fast, but because it delivers speed in a completely different way. Now visually, the 2026 H2 still looks absolutely insane. Sharp aerodynamic bodywork wraps tightly around the chassis like armor. Every angle looks aggressive. From the front, the twin LED headlights give the bike a predatory stare. The mirrors blend into the fairing with stealth fighter styling, and the winglet-inspired aerodynamic surfaces help stabilize airflow at extreme speed. But the real magic happens when light hits the paint. Kawasaki's mirror-coated finish reflects the environment almost like liquid metal. In daylight, the body panels shimmer with deep metallic reflections. At night, the bike looks like something pulled straight out of a cyberpunk movie. And then there's the sound, not just the exhaust, the intake. The supercharger creates a high-pitched mechanical whistle that becomes louder as speed increases. It's addictive. Every acceleration feels mechanical and alive. And unlike many modern motorcycles that feel electronically filtered, the H2 still feels raw, dangerously raw. Now let's talk about electronics. Because a machine with this much power needs serious control systems, the 2026 Ninja H2 features Kawasaki's advanced electronic rider suite, including Kawasaki Traction Control, Launch Control, Cornering ABS, Engine Brake Management, Quick Shifter, Multiple Ride Modes, IMU-assisted stability systems. All of it works together constantly, thousands of calculations every second, monitoring wheel speed, lean angle, throttle input, acceleration. The goal is simple: keep the rider alive, because without electronics, this bike would be almost impossible for most people to control safely. And that's what makes the H2 fascinating. It's a motorcycle balance between insanity and precision engineering. One wrong move, and it becomes terrifying. But in the right hands, it becomes one of the most exciting machines ever built. And surprisingly, the 2026 model is more refined than ever before. Kawasaki improved throttle smoothness, rider comfort, and stability at cruising speeds. The riding position still feels aggressive, but it's no longer unbearable for longer rides. The suspension setup absorbs road imperfections better while still remaining planted during hard acceleration. And the quick shifter? Lightning fast. Upshifts feel instant. Downshifts feel mechanical and aggressive. Every gear engagement adds drama. Now let's talk about speed, because this is the reason most people click on a Ninja H2 video. The numbers are ridiculous. The acceleration is brutal enough to challenge hypercars costing hundreds of thousands of dollars. 0 to 60 happens almost violently, and once the supercharger fully builds pressure, the scenery starts blurring. At high speed, the bike feels less like transportation and more like controlled chaos. Wind pressure slams against the rider. The engine screams, the intake howls, and the world disappears behind you. This is not casual riding anymore. This is survival at speed. But despite all that madness, the H2 remains surprisingly stable. That aerodynamic bodywork isn't just for looks. The chassis stays planted even at speeds where most motorcycles start feeling nervous. And that confidence changes everything. Because the faster you go, the calmer the bike feels, which is honestly terrifying. Now here's something most people don't realize. The Ninja H2 is not only about straight-line performance. The chassis itself is incredibly advanced. Its trellis frame is engineered specifically to balance rigidity and flex. That allows the bike to remain stable under insane acceleration while still feeling responsive in corners. And the Brembo braking system? Absolutely massive. Because when a bike accelerates this hard, you need equally insane stopping power. The front brakes bite aggressively with incredible feel and feedback. And when combined with cornering ABS, the braking stability becomes genuinely impressive. Now let's talk about the rider experience. Owning a Ninja H2 isn't normal. Every fuel stop becomes an event. Every traffic light turns into attention. People stare at this bike constantly. Some hear the supercharger before they even see it. Others recognize the unique design instantly. And riders? They respect it. Because everyone knows what this machine represents. This isn't just another superbike. It's Kawasaki proving what happens when engineers are allowed to ignore limits. And honestly, that's why the H2 still feels special even years after its original release. Most motorcycles eventually become ordinary. The Ninja H2 never did. Even in 2026, it still feels futuristic, still feels dangerous, still feels unreal. And maybe that's the best way to describe it. The Ninja H2 doesn't feel like something designed for everyday roads. It feels like an experiment that somehow escaped into public streets. A machine too extreme to exist, yet somehow fully legal. And that's exactly why riders love it. Because in a world where many motorcycles are becoming quieter, softer, and more controlled, the H2 still feels rebellious, still feels mechanical, still feels alive. So if you ever hear that supercharger scream in real life, you'll understand instantly. This isn't just speed. This is engineering obsession. This is Kawasaki pushing beyond common sense. This is the 2026 Ninja H2.